gonna say anything about. Oh, I almost did. Hey guys, I'm Frank Schwartz. This is the SEO show. You got Byron, the cohort, and you got a group of great guys today. And I'm gonna have everybody introduce themselves along the way. Just jump in and say something. All right, everybody. Woo! Okay, we got Brian. Brian, you tell us who you are and what you do.
Hey, this is Brian Willie with Local Client Takeover. Mark Luckenbaugh and myself run a group, obviously called Local Client Takeover, oddly enough. And we're both local marketers who've trying to help people out, figure out the local angle. I guess, affiliate stuff's been done a lot. So we've been very focused on the local stuff, and got about 1,000 members in our group. You're welcome to check it out at facebook.com and just look for the group Local Client Takeover.
Sweet. Now, who else we got? Byron, you're gonna have to step up here pretty soon. We got Jonathan, but last I knew, Jonathan was going to get a cup of coffee, but I think he got it already.
Yes, sir.
There he is.
Hi guys, Jonathan Keekbush here with a very unique surname. I'm the guy behind PBN Butler. We basically run one of the world's least recognized and most loved SEO shops. We basically supply people with all the tools that they need for PBNs, for all their SEO needs. And Byron brought me on to talk a little bit about what we want to do.
Sweet.
Awesome, dude.
And Tyler, what's going on, brother?
What's going on? I just do SEO, local marketing. I do a lot of PPC. I'm out of Los Angeles, and TylerPerez.com.
Awesome, dude.
Nice. Well, we got Luke sitting there, but Luke's muted.
Luke is actually my business partner. I didn't have the link to share for this Webby, so I just told him to jump on this and listen.
Oh, that's good.
Hey, we're good, man. We're very open to anything that's going on. Now that everybody's introduced, I want to bring up a couple things in the SEO world and see if you guys have played with or danced around and enjoyed. Oh, jeez. The best thing to do all the time is close out the tab that you were going to talk about and not remember what the hell it was that you were going to talk about.
What site was it on, dude?
I don't remember. It's a crazy ass site. But it let me see. I can go into history.
Yes, you can.
Recent tabs.
To clear your history, Frank, didn't they teach you that?
Oh, dude, you know what? I am the worst dude about following the directions. Oh shit! Sorry, I am just into that. Talk about page speed. Do you guys notice? Do you guys use page speed? The Google Page Speed Insight, or have you ever tested sites with it?
Yeah, I have. It's kind of one of the things that I go over, on clients usually. It's supposedly one of the ranking well, it is a ranking factor, but it's not really high on my list. But especially if the site is sluggish, I'll check it out, and maybe in month 2 or 3, as we're chipping away at some other stuff, I'll take a look at the site speed to kind of give a little extra boost.
I played with it a couple weeks ago with a couple of sites because it said, hey, your site speed, and I went, okay, cool, let's check it out. And I started playing with it, and I went from like 67 to 87, somewhere in there. And my AdSense literally doubled on the site, like within 2 days. And I noticed that rank went way up. All of a sudden, I just jumped, and all I did was basically use the W3 plugin and just followed their little handout. I went, oh.
Well, one of the easiest things is like, when you've got images on the page, like all you've got to do is just load them up in a graphics software and reduce the file size, and your page will load sometimes 2 or 3 times faster. And you know, that's one of the biggest things that I see with that page speed.
Yeah, the W3 pretty much handled that.
Oh, cool.
Automatically. Oh, and the site that I was going to talk about was Product Hunt. Have you guys used this?
No, I've never heard of it.
ProductHunt.com. I'm going to drop it for everybody out in the event world to take a look at. And it's just product, PRODUCTHUNT.com. I'm going to tell you, if you want cutting edge crap and startups, and maybe even Jonathan, for you, is you can get people to vote up and down your site and stuff. And a lot of these guys on there are CEOs of startups or tech companies, and they just shit they share. You know, one guy's got it's called Closing Call, closingcall.co, and it's just stuff about sales, articles, things like that. I got that from one of the CEOs that I started following. But it's kind of cool. They'll send you an email in the morning, and like yesterday was products and things for Mac users. And it was just, you know, all these ways to use Spotify without being in Spotify, using your mouse pad to, you know, do all these little tips and tricks. It was kind of cool, but I've found a bunch of new things for like Gmail. I'm using its sorted, SORTD, which is kind of cool because I can just take my mails and put them into lists and start ignoring more and more shit, and as it piles up over there, I can just delete it and say I don't want to see it anymore.
Awesome.
So, yeah, and that's about all I got. So Byron, why don't you take over for a while, dude? I'm gonna put my monkey up for a little bit.
Sounds good. Well, I was gonna ask Jonathan about some stuff, just kind of like what I know you do testing, you know, and you've got a lot of stuff going. Like, what are you seeing in SEO that's kind of working right now? Maybe what isn't, or at least what your people are kind of killing it with in SEO right now.
Okay. So the first thing to say there is really that, you know, we work in two parties. We have the PBN Butler side, which is really a supplier of tools and services to other SEO professionals who then essentially use our tools to rank their client sites and make money. And then on the other hand, we have I2W, which is our consultancy, which basically does client-side SEO. So we have our own clients, we consult them, we do everything that everybody else does. Now, I always like to talk about the PBN Butler side because that's the one that we're really, really passionate about, because we just love working with other SEOs. They give us great feedback and they tell us exactly what works and how it works.
Yeah, that's the one that I like as well. I see it around, and I know we've talked about it before, and it's as far as like me using it in my agency and kind of with clients and stuff. So I think that's definitely what people are most intrigued about.
Yeah. What we decided when we started up PBN Butler is that we wanted to create something that is actually an asset to people, something that, you know, when you think of putting a quote together for a client, I want you to actually think, okay, I need this and this and this, and I'm going to order this and this and this from PBN Butler. That's basically how we started out, and then we realized that one of the biggest issues with the suppliers in our industry seems to be the customer service, that, you know, people don't reply to you quick enough, so you're waiting on an answer for your client, and it doesn't really work. Or if you need a refund or something, nobody's online and it's terrible. So customer service for us is a huge, huge part, and I think so far we've been doing pretty good at it. People seem to be pretty happy. What we really talk about local SEO, we recently started doing citations, manual citations, which we kickstarted massively with a really great promotion from the guys at Local Client Takeover. And people have been getting really good results. Unfortunately, I don't have the screenshot to hand, but we actually had one of our customers send us some screenshots the other day that we're going to put into a blog post about how they managed to get into the map pack within like 2 weeks for 7 terms just using our citations, which was, that's exactly what we want people to see.
That's awesome.
What we're doing. And other than that, I mean, one of the things that I think a lot of people know us for are our manual social signals, which a lot of people love because they obviously look great for your money sites, but at the same time, they add those social backlinks that do actually do something.
Awesome. Cool. What would you say is like the most popular that you see people just kind of going crazy over as far as what you offer?
At the moment, I think it's probably a mix of the PBN site creation that we do for people, because we're one of the few providers that really takes into account what our clients' requirements are. So we will have like a pre-build chat with you and develop sort of a master plan of what every site needs before we do it. And the other thing would be the local citations because of our really, really competitive pricing. Something that we're working on at the moment is, we don't have a brand name for it yet, but essentially it's like a rework of GSA and how to use GSA to actually create a beautiful, diverse backlink profile, since so many people seem to be buying GSA, spamming their own site to hell, and then wondering why it won't rank. And we're getting a lot of requests of, asking us for copies of that. So I hope that that's going to do really well. We've got some great results going with it.
Nice. I think that you're right. I mean, GSA has kind of been a sensitive topic. I know, 6 months, a year ago, it was kind of a little different story, and then everyone started to freak out. They were either breaking their rankings or, just spamming way too much. So I'd definitely be interested in that, which I know that tons of other people would be as well. That's something that on Frank and I's client side, I mean, if GSA starts to work again and it's clean and good for rankings, I mean, we'll start using it again. We kind of stopped using it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the biggest factors in that, and this is sort of a candy for everybody who's using it, the biggest problem with GSA at the moment is the fact that it still uses PageRank to determine what links are good and which ones aren't. And we all know that PageRank is dead, especially when it comes to like building link diversity. So we've actually looked at GSA way more from a perspective of the way that we would be buying PBN domains, and started looking at our link list that way. And when we started this, we were really proud, and we thought, hey, we have like 5, 10, 15 million links, and we were thinking this is great. And then all of a sudden we start looking at these links in a different way, and we realize how many of these are terrible, and that's probably the reason why people are having such bad results with them.
Absolutely, yeah. Cool. So I had a question about the PBN. So from your point of view, are you seeing there's always huge buzz about PBNs, being dead or still working? I mean, I know they still work. I use them in my business. I diversify a lot more now. I mean, Frank and I are always finding different link sources and things so we can keep it natural and diverse. But are you seeing any slowdown with PBN effectiveness if they're set up correctly and all that, or is it still going strong?
In my personal opinion, from what we've seen from our clients, the people that we supply with these sites, as well as sort of partners that use their own PBN networks, I can't say that it's slowed down. I think the one thing is, though, and you've already touched on that, is the link diversity. A lot of people have become very aware that it's not healthy to just have a powerful PBN pointing to your money site. And so I think that's where it gets really important to start looking at building different properties around your money site, so that even if all the juice was to come from your PBN, it doesn't look.
Yeah. You still there, man?
Yeah, sorry, I just broke off there for a second. How far did we
No
get?
worries. But yeah, excuse me, that's exactly what we started to see, because I mean, I have some sites where it's just PBN links, and I mean, they rank, but it almost seems like the sites that I had a pretty good link profile on before, and then I added some PBN links, especially like in a local setting, add 2 or 3 really nice links. I mean, they shot right up, but just relying on the PBN links is, I mean, it'll work, but I think that after a few weeks, Google kind of just doesn't credit you as much because it looks unnatural to just have like a handful of perfect links. It's, you know, it's not how a natural website would have links coming in. So yeah, I think the diversity is really important, and I personally think PBNs still work great because a lot of our rankings are, the only way they're on page 1 in position 1 is because of the PBN links.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, somebody said something recently, and I wish I remember who it was so I could credit them, but somebody said that people need to stop looking at Google as the world's biggest search engine, but rather look at it as the world's biggest advertising platform. And that's exactly what it is. You know, that's why this diversity is so important, because that's what they're looking at. They're looking at sites in a huge spectrum, way more than anybody with sort of an average SEO knowledge could ever imagine. And when you look at those sites, and if they've ranked naturally especially, you would always see that they have backlinks from the most diverse kind of sites. And that's what we need to mimic, because otherwise you're just not going to appear normal.
Absolutely, yeah.
I got to jump in here because I absolutely love what you just said, and it ties in with another thing that I read a book a long time called Beyond the Golden Arches, which is the history of McDonald's. And, I mean, it goes back to day one, before anything happened. Our bi-weekly paychecks being paid every 2 weeks was created by McDonald's because they were broke. They literally Friday afternoon had no money for payroll and threw a memo out that said, nobody's getting paid today, you all get paid next week. And that just took over. McDonald's is not in the hamburger business. They're not into French fry business. McDonald's actually is in real estate now. They own all the land that the McDonald's are on, and that's all they want is the land. They don't care about the burgers or how many of McDonald's sells. They really don't anymore. And Google is the same way. They don't care about your site. They care about if you're advertising or if you're pushing out more ads. And that's why they do, in my opinion, that's why they do some reviews, over manual reviews of the site, is they'll see like an increase in ad pulls, and they'll go and check and see, you know, why all of a sudden is there all of this, or why is it so big, or why are there suddenly all these backlinks. And if it looks stupid, they're killing either your ad site, either ads, or they're killing your site, or they're dropping your rank. But if it looks right and it looks natural, then you're okay. And I think with PBNs, they have to look real also. They can't just be a 5-page theme that just says, we're all about skateboards. We're all about skateboard decks. We're all about skateboard wheels, and that's what your site is. And you've got 50 million links pointing to it and one link pointing out to your money site that sells hammers. You know, that doesn't look right. And I just love that you said that Google is not the world's biggest search engine. They're the biggest advertising agency. So, hey, Byron, since you're looking at your text messages, busted. I saw your.
I'm not. I'm looking at another tab.
Look what Doug, and hey, Doug, look what Doug asked.
Let's see. Q&A.
Q&A.
Okay. All right. Got a question for you, Jonathan. So Doug says, how would we or would we use PBNs to push up the rankings of regional and national landlord type sites? So basically kind of strategies on how to use PBNs to push up those landlord rental sites that people are trying to rank out and rent
Okay. So I'm just trying to understand. So the reason this would be different, I guess, is because we're trying to rank for different locations.
Yeah.
But what I would do personally, and this is speaking about, I'm just thinking about this project that we recently did that did have multiple locations. What we actually did is we built all the power to the main domain, and then started building subdomains with the different locations on them. Started building citations to these subdomains with different addresses, and then pushed a couple of social campaigns to these. What I can do is, following this webinar, following this chat, I can build a small diagram of how we did that, because it's a little bit difficult to explain these kind of things verbally. But it's really a lot easier than you think, and it's not a massive investment to start going after multiple locations. And we've seen pretty good results with building the strength to the main domain, and then using that juice to sort of to power up these different locations.
Nice, nice.
I just interrupted everybody with that little chat message. Let me now. Here's the funniest shit, and I'm glad we have LA in the house with Tyler, because and Brian, of course, but he's more our Vegas boy. Local in LA is so freaking tough. I know that you guys have a hard time with address verifications and shit like that, tying in citations. I know that people are having an impossible time getting, a Twilio number or verifying accounts and doing all this crap. What are you guys doing or do you even do like landlord sites or, local PBNs and try to tie in addresses?
Well, I mean, for the most part, what I do out here is that, fortunately for me, my clients, they all have physical locations and actual phone numbers. So the actual physical location, there's real offices there. It's fully staffed. They've actually got phone numbers. So for everything, the one thing that I did do, though, is get additional phone numbers for every single location that forwards to an 800 number that goes to consultants. So what I did, instead of, well, I guess, like, it's kind of like the location thing, exactly what he's talking about. I built an actual location page per office, and everything that's on that page, let's say, for example, you're in LA, it says nothing else about our San Francisco office. So Google does not get confused on what page they're at. If you're in LA, make sure everything is LA. It does not need to say San Francisco on there. It lists your address. It has, your links to your actual maps, your Google Plus page, and all the backlinks to that page are relevant to that location. For example, your Perez sites, your Yelp, your Google Plus page to that page and not the home page.
See, and that was, you said the word that I love telling everybody, whether they're doing video marketing or, putting embeds out there, you use the word relevant. And I think that that's what people are really having a hard time understanding, because they are still in that GSA mentality, the buy, the Fiverr with, the Alex Panda Jonathan backlink structure for SE Nuke, that's still that mentality that they're just like, fuck it, blast this, and let's see what sticks, and, if it doesn't stay for a week, we'll do it again, and then, all they're doing is just throwing up their hands saying, hey, Google, come look at this shit we're trying to pull over, and Google's going, hey, thanks, guys.
Yeah, it's like people at this point, where I think they make a mistake, is they're so worried about backlinks and whether it's do follow or no follow. But the bottom line is, that's not the way that it only works. You need to look at it as a signal. If you have your NAP listings, if you have citations that don't actually have backlinks that are the correct address, that's going to benefit you. There's no backlink, but Google knows it's there, and it's building the relevance on your actual page as well. Just because there's not a no-follow link doesn't mean it's not going to benefit you.
See, and that's something. It was we were talking about, you know, dropping links and like we were talking about videos, and everybody's like, well, there are no follow links in the description, and I said, well, that's great, but that's a technical term. Mm-hmm. Google still knows that goes somewhere. You know, they still I believe that the term no follow is bullshit because they follow. They know where these links are going, you know, and they're watching it. So dropping no follow or, you know, no robot, you know, is only part of it.
Yeah, as soon as everybody started paying attention to the no follow plus do follow type ratios. I think Google does have a certain weight on them, but I think that they count do follows and, you know, no follows. They factor that all in as a certain, whatever the percentage is in Google, we don't necessarily know, but I think they have a certain natural percentage that they look for optimal rankings. You know, it's not like if you have all do follows, you're not going to rank, or if you have a certain mixture. I just think that there is a mixture, and it's probably more do follows than it is no follow, but the exact ratio, I mean, no one knows. But it looks natural to have both nowadays because everybody's trying to pay attention to it, and Google knows that. So,
well, here's a question for you. Do you think that if Google's reading an article, and you know, anybody can jump in on this, but you have http:/example.com, which I actually did the backlink structure for that website. That's really cool. I wish I owned example.com because I just put up a picture of me and just have billions of people. But you do that, and it's a follow. And then you do one that's www.example.com, and it's just sitting there. And then you have another thing that says example.com, and they're all in the same article. Do you think Google understands that all three of those are the same thing? Even if they're not linking out, but they read and they know that that's a website? Ah, see?
I'll jump in here. I think they think it's the same thing. This is Brian. Because there was a patent that came out last year, and I don't want to get all patenty and stuff and lawyery on your asses, but they started talking about implied links where there's no actual anchor text even going on, so they can read inside of an article and figure out that there's no anchor text even going on, and they, you know, how much weight that gets at this point we don't know, but I think they're seeing site.com, whether it has HTTP or www, anchor text, no anchor text, follow, no follow, as carrying some weight. Now, what weight it's all given, we don't know, I don't think, but I think it goes back to Byron and Tyler. It's all about, you know, the diversity that you're using. So people, I think, get too hung up on follow, no follow. You know, from what we've seen, having no follow, people are saying, well, it doesn't pass juice, but I've ranked a ton of sites with just a mostly no follow profile and then a few PBN links, for instance. You know, I'll start out with social signals or something with like social adder or whatever. A lot of those are no follow links. And then you start to just throw a couple of PBN links at some of these local sites, and that sometimes is all it takes. You can't really tell me that no follow doesn't matter. Somehow it's factoring into the algorithm when I can have a primarily no follow link-based profile that's getting me rankings all day long with just a couple of juicy follow links.
Well, and the thing that brought me up with this question, and the reason why I was kind of asking is I was reading either James Wedmore or, you know, a couple of these other guys, Neil Patel and them, and when they're doing their long like case studies, they're writing out these things and they're putting in the website, but they don't always link. And that's why I was thinking that, you know, Google's seeing this and understanding that this case study is about this one particular website, but they see that it's mentioned, say, 10 times, but it's not, you know, overly used keyword stuffing or anything. So I noticed that sometimes they even put like example and spell out dot and com, you know, and I was like, I wonder if this is making it remain relevant, and that's why, Tyler, I was happy that you used that word, because, you know, one of the things I always said was drop the embed code on as many social sites as you can and go out there and, you know, have a PBN. And maybe, Jonathan, you can even say this, isn't it better if they're relevant? And I've always said, you know, just keep it as freaking relevant as you can. You know, if you're talking about light bulbs, you can have a website about filament, but I don't think you can have a website about cardboard boxes. You know, it just won't work together.
No, I completely agree, and I really want to sort of backtrack there and agree with Tyler. It's, you know, that people are always searching for that one-size-fits-all solution, and I think that that's something that we need to fundamentally change in the way that we look at SEO. And I don't need to tell you guys this, but it's something that I see in a lot of people that order from us at PBN Butler, where, you know, they're like, I have this type of site or this type of keyword that I want to rank for. Tell me, what do I need to buy? And I'm like, well, but we need to first look at your entire structure and what you want to do, because it's exactly what Tyler said. You know, it's very particular. It needs to be relevant in order to achieve the results that we want. And the same thing is, that's where you know, we're doing well with citations, because if you don't have a list of citation sites that you want us to submit to, then we will find relevant directories to submit you to, because it has so much more power than just submitting you to random powerful ones. You know, it's just, it's exactly like that. If you want to build a particular Lego toy, you're not going to just buy some random box. You can buy the box that has exactly the parts that builds that particular toy, right?
I love that. Well, I'm sorry I hijacked it, Byron, but it was because late last night we got into this, and somebody said, well, I'm gonna do this for my YouTube channel, and I'll just build a PBN, and I'll just be buying all these domains, and I'll just rebrand them and everything. And I was like, if I had the best case scenario, I would have the YouTube channel, and I would start building to it. But why would I buy 50 if I only needed 5?
Yeah, that's the thing. Is you got to, and the same thing on the client stuff. You know, like local client stuff. It's kind of, okay, let's start with 2 PBN links. You know, if we're buying new domains, let's just buy maybe 3 or 4. You know, and do it that way, or use existing PBNs that are related and just, you know, trickle in 2 or 3 links. And if it starts ranking, great, let's see what it does for a bit, and if it's not quite enough, then you add more. But yeah, I mean, buying 50 at once, you know, you might not even need that. And plus, you know, a half a dozen PBN links mixed with some social links and citations, and I mean, depending on what type of site you're doing, that's where you get the diversity in, and you don't need to have 50 PBN links necessarily to rank. It's just not needed. You know, you might need several for each site, but you don't need dozens and dozens just to start with.
Doug said that it would be awesome to have the diagram. Doug, what I'll do is I'll ask Jonathan to tie in with the SEO Show's Facebook page and maybe put something there, or we'll link back to his stuff, and that way you can see where his post is. That'd probably be easier, but yeah, we'll try to hook you up, brother. And Edwin, what's going on? I'm not even going to pronounce the last name because I'm a dick like that. What kind of link types do you guys use for these no-follow links?
There's a lot of different ones. I'm all
Go
over
ahead.
the place. I mean, you go to a lot of different directories in your relevant niche or however you pronounce it. And I mean, you could easily sit there and you could find little plugins for your browser that'll automatically tell you if they're no follow or if they're do follow. So if you go to directories that are relevant to your actual area, you can automatically find them. And if you could find one that is no follow and do follow and kind of build a list and do, normally I try to keep them about 50%. I want 50% no follow, 50% do follow, so it looks natural. And I mean, it's just relevant. I mean, you just find relevant areas that have relevant no follows, relevant do and no follows, and normally no follows from directories. A lot of them from commenting, blog commenting, you'll find a lot of no follows, and that's normally where I find them from.
Yeah, same here. It kind of, you also got to remember on for everybody on links. Let's say you've got, and this is why everyone started to do guest blogging, article marketing in contextual links, is because Google, there's a link, and it doesn't matter if it's your anchor text or your website or your brand, you know, well, it does, but set that aside, and so just say you've got any link, but the Google actually looks at the wording around it, around that link, and associates your link with the surrounding area. So if it's related to it or synonyms, it tries to associate your website with what's around it. So, and it does that whether it's a no follow or do follow, which is why there's a certain amount of weight for both of them, and it does make sense, like Tyler said, to have, you know, a ratio of both, because Google, that's one of their factors, is they don't just look at your link, they look at the images that are on the page, if they have descriptions, they look at the text surrounding it, I mean the URL, they're looking at everything to say, okay, this website is pointing to this website, and the original website is associated with this, so the site that's getting the link must be somehow also associated with that. So you got to remember that only makes sense for a do follow link to actually help you, and you know, not that you should run out and just try to get a bunch of do follows, or I mean no follows, that's what I mean, but you should definitely do both, is what I'm saying, you know.
I actually had somebody the other day, they were talking about that, and they're like, why on my page are there a bunch of words with crossed out lines? You know, the lines are in the middle of the word. Why is it's all over my page? And I'm like, dude, do you have like SEO book plugin or something? Because it's like showing you the no follow links. And they're like, oh yeah. I'm like, just click off the little tab, dude, and all of a sudden those lines are gone. I was laughing my ass off. I'm like, holy shit, they just added a plugin. Don't know what it does.
Absolutely.
I you know what? When everybody's like, well, what should I use as when I'm commenting? What should I use as like the name? Should I, you know, the best plumber in Phoenix? And I go, why not a name?
Yeah.
Well,
I
use
see,
names.
you know how like a lot of people, like, I mean, you'll see that they'll build fake name generators and they'll register their domain as a certain person. They'll build a Facebook around this person if you really want to go into your PBNs and build them that way. So what I would do is normally, if you're going to do that, use the name that is registered on the actual domain. So it looks natural, it looks real. Build an account on Discus and actually use that. Make an image, make a person, make a human being that is on every single site that you go to. So not only do you know that it looks consistent, it looks like a real person, you can actually go to Google and you could put this person's names in quotes and find all the links that you built for this person.
That is so cool, because I actually do use fake name generator. so I love it, because I'm like, oh, today I'm Jesus. Okay, that's cool. I got this, and you know,
Yeah,
I'm like,
vamonos.
well, but the funny part is people go, oh, you know, you get in trouble with GoDaddy and this and that. I've been on the phone with GoDaddy, and I'm like, dude, it's a client.
Yeah.
You know, I'm an agency. If you look at my whole history, I've always been an agency with you guys, so you know that I'm good. And I've never had them shut it down and go, oh, your who is wrong. No, my who is always right. It's just a creative thing.
Absolutely.
Brian.
Yes, sir. I'm right here. What's going on?
Are you sober?
Of course. What would give you the impression I'm not sober, Frank?
Nothing.
9 in the morning.
9 in the morning. Oh, well, you could have just crawled in. I mean, you are in Vegas, brother.
That's true. Drinking capital of the world. So you got me on that one.
Local client takeover talks mainly, of course, about local client takeover, and I've seen in the group more people asking about national. Do you guys really do a whole lot differently? If you're going from like from Vegas to Clark County to Reno to Nevada to West Coast, do you do a whole lot different when you're building out your stuff for your clients?
When you say national, do you mean people who have local businesses on a national level with multiple locations, or do you mean literally going after national keyword terms?
No, I think in the group that this, and I can't remember who specifically, but it was like, I know you guys talk about local stuff, but I want to hit this. I guess it was a keyword for the national. I didn't understand why he was in the local group asking about national, but
I think
would you go after a different profile building or whatever?
Yeah. What I tend to do, and I know there's others in the group that do this, and I think I remember the question is, let's say you're going after several locations, or even let's just use one location for instance. Let's say it's Vegas or whatever. The question was, do you always want to use the word Las Vegas along with the keyword, or do you want to build out what would be more of a generic keyword term? And what I was mentioning that I like to do is I like to mix it up. So oftentimes I'll put, let's say I'm using a PBN, I might use the word Las Vegas plus the keyword in some form. But then what I also like to do is on Web 2.0s, on niched Web 2.0s, again, I may use the word Las Vegas over and over. So let's say I've got a plumber or something like that, or HVAC. Maybe I've got an HVAC network that's all about, or for my Web 2.0, all about HVAC. Within that context, I might use, see here in Las Vegas, that sort of thing. And then I'll do the opposite, where sometimes I'll build out location-specific Web 2.0s, and I'll use the niche. So in that case, I'll talk about, for HVAC services, see here or click here. So it kind of does the reverse. It's giving location signals from my location-based Web 2.0. I'm giving niche signals from my other one. If I understand you correctly, that's kind of how I've approached it and had success, because the geo signals matter a lot, whether it's coming from Web 2.0 or citations, for instance. Both Jonathan and Tyler were mentioning you've got to get niche and city specific with your citations, in my opinion. It's not enough to just have the Yelps and the super pages. The things that really crush it is having that. But then the people that I've seen do well, not just on maps, but from a geolocation perspective, are the guys who go and build citations and Web 2.0s that are about that niche, they're about that location. Or you go in and you get directory listings that are about that niche and about that location. So not only does it round out your link profile in general with the mix of follow, no follow, but your competition's primarily doing Yelp and City Search and all this other stuff that nobody else is doing. So go out and build location relevant, citations and directories, and then niche relevant citations and city relevant citations.
Nice.
Oh shit! Oh, I'm sorry. I just hit the wrong button.
Speaking of citations, so sounds like Jonathan's got 2 packs of 50 citations to give away right now. So how about the first person in the Q&A to tell me what year Matt Cutts was hired at Google? You can get 50 pack of citations.
You're a motherfucker, dude.
I know.
That's raw.
That is raw.
How about the year he got his ass fired?
Yeah, I was about to say.
I'll say hired, just because that's what I looked up. So.
My man, I think there's something going on with Mr. Cutts. Normally, when you're on a sabbatical, it's because you're going to finish up your philosophy thing or something. I don't think Matt Cutts is going to finish school. I've noticed he doesn't even put up his little foodie pictures anymore.
Oh yeah. So Jonathan, we want to describe the 50 citations, and hopefully we can get someone to answer that question.
Sure. I mean, basically, once the call is over, the person that's won it will be put in touch somehow, and our team will then get all the details from you for the citations that you want to build, the address, etc. And we'll then discuss which location, which niche you want to have these built in, and we'll then go out, build those out for you. If you want us to, we will drip index those for you as well. And you'll get a report with every single URL to every single citation. You'll get the login details for every single citation in case you ever change anything or need to change anything, so that you can then send that to your client, unless you are your client, and literally show them everything that you've done, which makes it look great for that month.
Awesome.
Now, Jonathan, how much, if I wanted to get a hold of you afterwards and grab 50 citations, what's about the going rate? But you got to keep it in US dollars because I don't do this fucking translation over to euros.
We've got like a tiered system, so if you order 15, it'd be $18.75. 25 citations are $27, and 50 citations are $50. So you're paying $1 a citation, and the maximum, which is 200 citations, you're paying $150 for 200 completely manually created local citations.
Man, I might want to get citations to me and have me placed in another country, just so, in case NSA is ever looking for me, they'll go looking in Barbados or something.
Oh boy. So it looks like Gregory Sinclair, congrats. You got those 50 citations. And Doug, you're right, nobody cares about Matt Cutts. I just wanted someone to work a little bit to win it, so that's the only reason why I threw that out there.
Dude, I would have made them post pictures of them bare-chested on the group. I want to see nipples in this SEO show Facebook.
I'll message you, Greg, and we'll figure it out. We'll hook you up with Jonathan.
Hey, John Smith, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, that's you, Lane.
Who? Oh, shit, sorry.
What's going on, brother?
I keep signing in with my client's Google Plus. I'm sorry. Man,
That's okay. Meet Tyler, Luke, Jonathan, and Brian. Brian's in Vegas. Tyler's in LA. Luke and Jonathan are not. I don't know exactly where they are from. Where are you from, Jonathan?
I'm based in Brighton, which is in the UK, just south of London. But I travel about 80% of the year, so I'm always all over the place. I came back from the States yesterday.
Yeah, Jonathan was
he's a
messaging
nomad
me
entrepreneur.
in Atlanta, right?
Atlanta?
I was actually in the airport in ATL when I was like, are we still doing this thing tomorrow? Do I need to know anything?
I'm like, yeah, we're on.
Oh, dude, the ATL, that is a hot, steaming bath of humidity.
Yeah.
I'm not an ATL fan.
Yesterday.
Well, at least you weren't in Boston or New York. Them fuckers got 6 feet of snow in the past 2 weeks.
Oh man, tell me about it. No, I'm actually really glad because I'm going to be here. I'm going to be in Europe for the next month and a half. I'm going to be in Germany next week. If anybody in the call's in or near Berlin, let me know. I'll come by. We can have a coffee or beer. And then we're going to be present at the Brighton SEO conference. We're actually hosting a dinner for all the SEOs that we know that are coming down. So if you're coming to the Brighton SEO conference, let us know and we'll hook you up. And then mid-April till mid-June, we're going to do our India tour. So if you're in India, let us know and I'll try to hook up with you. It's, again, a vastly huge country, so the chances of being in the same place are sort of like very small. But we'll try and make it work, so let me know.
And how would anybody get a hold of you, Jonathan?
You can always get in touch with me either via Facebook or via one of our sites like PBN Butler. Our customer services team is always happy to forward messages if they're just saying like, hey, what's up, let's catch a beer. We don't have a Facebook page at the moment, and that is only because we are present in so many of these SEO pages that we don't really feel the need that we need to take people out of those.
Right. Right.
Totally makes sense.
And that's the funny part is once they're in Facebook, pulling them out of Facebook is like surgery on an ass because it's so hard. You know, it's incredibly frustrating for some people to realize that, you know, you've got a group here only because you want to reach some people, but you really want them on your website or your membership site that, you know, you've spent time and created, and no, they're over on Facebook looking at Angelina Jolie fan pages and shit, and it's like, ugh. Doug has a question. If they buy a package of citations, do they need to use them all at once, or can they bank them? Hold on to them.
It's a bit of a funny one. We're not that keen to split up packs. We will do it, especially if you order one of the larger ones. If you were to order 15, I'd be quite hesitant to split that into 3 batches of 5. But if you want to order some, there's a note section on the order form on Citations Ninja. You are more than welcome to leave us a note and say, look, I would only like to allocate 25 of these or whatever amount, and we'll take that into account and make a note of it. If you were to buy 3 or 4 packs, you can also buy those and then let us know in a week's time, you know, what your details are. We're not going to start, you know, cancelling orders, etc.
Cool, sounds good.
Hey Byron, just a plug for Jonathan. I used some of his packs, and I basically what I found is they work miracles in terms of tamping down on Google Dance and making ranking stick.
Awesome.
Hey, that's amazing. Thank you.
Awesome.
Hard proof right there, fellas.
Yeah, I've actually used the social signals as well. And it's exactly what it's claimed to be. It's exactly as it's advertised. It's affordable, and it's a great service.
Awesome. Awesome.
Now,
And,
I gotta ask, Byron, did you set this shit up? You invited not only the guy who has the service, but like 5 of his customers, and just said,
No,
hey guys.
Honest to God, I didn't know. I promise.
I don't think we could have planned this if we wanted to. We were
I
so
have no idea who
organized.
buys from Jonathan, so it's just he's just that good. So
I'm looking up, Jonathan. I was kind of stalking you this morning, and I'm looking in the images. I love looking at the images, Google Images for somebody's website or somebody, because it's so funny what's connected to them. And I saw I was doing the PBN Butler, and I saw the connections that you do for YouTube. And I went, wow, you know, if people just needed to look at a visual diagram for all the services that you have, they could see and be comfortable buying. Because, I mean, you've got it set up pretty freaking easily to understand.
Yeah, well, that's one of the things that we're working on at the moment. We really want to keep things simple. We're actually currently working on integrating both Signals Ninja and Citations Ninja to the PBN Butler interface. We were having some really big difficulties with the platform that we're using to process orders on there and the customizations that we need in order to serve these kind of orders. But we've pretty much got that figured out now, and we're just in the process of changing everything around. I actually just, after you said that, I just Googled PBN Butler, and I'm really glad to see that all the new thumbnails that we created have already been indexed. So that's really nice. We did our in-house design team like redesigned everything because I threw a bit of a strop and saw how terrible the current ones were, and so we updated those. But the whole idea is we want simplicity. My previous job used to be for a company called Human Factors International, and I was their sales director for Europe, and they're pretty much one of the leading companies in usability and user experience studies. So I have it like drilled into my system to try and make things easy for people.
that is, I like it simple, because when it starts getting too convoluted, and that's what I like about Lane and, and local client takeover. It's broken down, guys, into pure English. Once I start hearing people and they start having this web, and the web gets bigger and deeper, I go, something ain't right. If you can't make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich with bread, peanut butter, and jelly, then there's something fucked up. If you got to start adding ice cubes and salsa and shit, it's not PB&J anymore. Keep it simple. Do you do anything, Jonathan, in the Netherlands, Holland, and stuff, like local citations there?
We can do, but the thing is, with all the foreign citation sites, I want to be completely straight up with people. For a lot of those areas, we will only have 20 or 30 directories because of our limitations with having to use stuff like Google Translate to translate those pages to find stuff that's in the right niche. If somebody who is from that country wants citations done, and they were able to sort of give us some pointers as to what sites they need them doing on, then that's absolutely no problem. We can do that. It's just finding them that's sometimes quite the pain.
Right. Well, there you go, Edwin. Contact them and talk to them. Start the conversation. You guys, one of the coolest things to do is use somebody's support desk to ask them the questions, because, that's what they've got structured, and why they have it there is, and that's what I love about a lot of Fiverr people, is they're like, hey, before you order, ask us, because we're not going to do weird shit for you. But you can do that with any of these guys, is just hit them up and ask them, what the hell's going on. Lane, Doug wants to smooch your butt for a minute. He really appreciated your training last evening, and the spreadsheet is a deal buster. And I think that's a good thing.
Who said this?
Doug Huggins.
Oh, right on, Doug. Is he in our Facebook group?
I believe he is. I believe that he went over there because I told him to, but I don't know. I'm just going to say that.
And hey, Ed, I'm going to give you the other pack, because you said January 2000. You were more specific. And Jonathan, you've got 250 packs to give away, right, of citations?
Yes,
or we just bought it, or Byron just bought a 50-pack for giving an extra one out. I have to do the blatant plug for the SEO show, because we do have to make some money, guys. Byron was literally on the phone texting with HostGator till about 10 o'clock last night, busting their balls over a coupon code to put out for everybody. So if you are, I believe it's currently using and going to buy more shit, or you've never used and want to get stuff from HostGator, or you left with the mass exodus and you want to go back and hook up, they have, what is it, 30% off?
Yeah, they're offering, you probably can't see my phone, but anyway, it's 30% off, like regular hosting plans and like shared and things like that, and then also 40% off dedicated servers and VPSs.
So use the coupon code TheSEOShow, and you'll get your discount. I have to do it. We're trying to make some money. We're trying to eat. Daddy needs some stuff. And everybody take a look at Lane and watch him as he talks. It'll really freak him out. No,
he's making deals right now.
Yeah, he's making deals. So Tyler, do you build up a property and then find a client, or do you find a client and then start working with them?
Actually, no. As of right now, I have clients that come to me, established companies. I do a lot of law. So I work in possibly one of the hardest areas to be in the law field. So I work with a lot of people who have been established for a long time. So at this point, I just take on clients that already have everything started, but just want to build more. So I require that these law firms aren't brand new. They've got to be established for like at least 2 years, because the last thing I want to do is find somebody who's brand new, get in the game for 3 months, decide it's too hard, and bail. So
plus, you need to know that they have a fucking bank account. You know.
that too. That too.
I want to get paid.
Yeah, but
well,
normally
that's funny because Brian is also in that exact niche.
it's definitely competitive, especially out here in my area in Orange County, Newport Beach, Laguna, Los Angeles. There's a lot of people with a lot of money to throw at this stuff, and this is kind of where the area where everybody understands it starts on the internet, so everybody's throwing money at this.
And that's funny. Lane, he actually, him and his partner did Lawyers Here in Phoenix. And they were just left, major company and this and that, and he was talking with them, and I'm like, it's funny that just now Phoenix is starting to understand these big companies are going, we actually have to have something online now, and I'm like, guys, it's been a solid 10 years, that people should have been established online, and you guys are just figuring it out, and people are like, well, do you think we need like YouTube and stuff? And I go, well, I don't know. It was $4.5 million for 30 seconds for a Super Bowl commercial, but the very next day, every one of those commercials was on YouTube.
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder why they did that. Well, one, it's a lot cheaper. But yeah, it's interesting that these people are going, oh wow, this internet thing's pretty interesting.
And it's like, I mean, I have a lot of SEOs that'll come to me and they'll ask me basically what I'm doing, and I'm an open book about any of this stuff because none of this is really a secret. And you could sit here and you could tell anybody and everybody how to do this, but you're only going to find 1 out of 100 that'll actually go and do it. So I just tell people exactly what I do, exactly how I do it. I've got no shame. So I mean, when going back to the PBNs. It's like if you are not ranked in the first 10 pages for your local area without any sort of PBN, you need to go back to the basics. You need to go back and work on your on-page optimization, your images. You need to go get a couple of links that are not PBN, some parasite page, and maybe a Web 2.0. One, if you're not in the top 10, you're doing it wrong. First off, out the gate.
Honesty, holy shit, that was a slap in the teeth. I'm on page 100 and I need 7 PBN links, and it's like, nah, dude, you need some titles.
Yeah.
That's what you need. Because you're doing something really fucked up.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, especially like in the law field, I mean, you can easily go through and I mean, you can get links from relevant directories like Avo, Justia, CalBar. You can go and this is all free. And it's like if you get those 3 links with a few things from Facebook, from YouTube, from Yelp, and get a review or 2, and then have the right on-page optimization, if you're not in the top 10 pages, you're doing it wrong.
That is so funny. Well, and the SEO show kind of got Byron in trouble when we first started off because there were some people who thought that by Byron being on here and telling people he was going to ruin WSOs. Oh, you know my secrets. You've been in my mastermind. These are things we talk about we don't want out there. And it was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Read the Google stuff. You really want to rank a YouTube video, they have this thing called the YouTube playbook.
Yeah.
Where do you think half of the WSOs come from?
I mean, more than anything, yeah, you might drop a little bit of knowledge on somebody, and you might give somebody a little hint about 1 page on their WSO, but then it's like, once you do that, they're going to want to know more. So it's like, okay, well, if you want to know more, here's where I learned this from. Go read the entire thing where I learned it from. Take them back to the source, drop them an affiliate link, and call it a day.
Hey, man, the funniest thing is like I've been pulling in articles for the SEOshow.com, and I'm like, you guys want to know where I'm picking up my news? I'm putting it. I check out our Twitter feed. After I read an article, if it's good, I usually hit Hootsuite and blast it out. It's free to the world. So here you go. But yeah, you're not doing anything crazy, and I don't think Brian is doing anything secretive. I mean, he may be doing a couple of links here and there or to a YouTube video or to his channel, but I don't think he's going crazy with this, voodoo and, as Lane says, the what was it, the entrails of a goat, to get these clients and rankings
That
to
was
change.
a good one.
Yeah, I was laughing about that. We're slaughtering animals.
You would be wrong, Frank. I actually slaughter animals on a regular basis just to get my clients ranked. That's what that's the whole lawyer thing. You just have to. I go and slaughter sharks.
You just got us sued by PETA. Thanks.
Sweet. I knew it was good. No, there's no voodoo. We've got a YouTube training course, and you and I have talked about this before, and it's not the most advanced YouTube training course in the world, but it gets people results because we're not doing a bunch of voodoo shit. What people need to realize is you don't have to spam the crap out of your YouTube stuff with GSA to get ranked. You can. It kind of goes back to Tyler what you were talking about, man. It's like I treat YouTube like I treat a website. First, what's my on-page optimization like? And that's half the battle right there. If you've got a good enough description, enough words, you're not stuffing it to death, and you've got the things that they look for, well, that's more than half the battle on YouTube. And so from there, it's just about getting some of the right types of links. And Frank, you've talked about it before. It's more and more relevance, right? You gotta have relevance to YouTube.
Guess what happens when, you're right, a website and YouTube are very similar, but guess what happens when you get a penalty on your website? Yeah, you might be able to overcome it and come back, and I guess at the end of the day, at least your website is still there. Google can't take down your website. Like, they can take it out of their results, but your website's still there. But with a YouTube video, they just kill your channel. They just kill your channel. So they just remove it if you do like really bad shit. So that's the thing, is just treat it nicely. I think you can abuse a little bit more on YouTube, but I wouldn't push it,
Well, no, you could build a 17-tier cloud puffy dragon lick to it, and you can nuke the hell out of your 7th tier, and you'll rank a video on page 1.
Or you can do what I did, which is create a video, rank it, get #1 on Google and on YouTube for your keyword, and then find out that YouTube has decided to not accept your certificate of the licensing for the audio. So I actually went and bought this track to be able to put it in this damn video. The video has got over 20,000 hits for something that was completely irrelevant. It was a test, but these fuckers have taken it down, and it's just so frustrating when you do all this work, you get your results, and then they come and pee on you, But I completely agree with you guys. It's all about diversity and looking at it on a per-case basis.
Yeah, and Byron and I talked about this last night on Skype while we were doing everything else that we're doing, which is normally not hanging out with the girlfriends or wives. Another great ebook you can grab for free from somebody else is the 50 Best Niches to Get Into, 2015 edition. So I went on and I started looking for niche lists, and I actually we're going to put together an ebook that has over 275 niches you can get into today and be profitable. Disclaimer: you have to do the right work, you have to know how to do the SEO, and you have to convert it to cash, but I'll give you the list of the niches for free. And if any of you didn't get that, you will if you watch the replay. You'll figure out what I was saying. But the ebook will be available this afternoon.
Badass.
Dude, it's a list.
Oh, I know.
I can drop the text list now. I just want to make it a PDF. So it's pretty.
Oh yeah. Well, this is the thing with like a niche list is like honestly, you can sit down and you can brainstorm a list of niches, and a lot of people, they need to see a list in front of them, and it makes the ideas come up. And so, like, on my computer, I've got lists of like hundreds and hundreds of different niches, everything from the popular down to drilled down with the cities, and just, part of that is like, bringing in the leads that we do, and also our client side stuff. So, but yeah, it just take those 275, pop them into Oodle Suggest, and you'll have like 275,000. So there's a little tip for you.
Oh, fuck me in the ass. Lane, why aren't you at work?
What do you mean?
You're not in uniform, brother.
Dude, I took the uniform off for good yesterday.
Oh, damn. I thought you had another 15 days. Or that's 15 for official.
Well, technically I do, but I don't have to show up to work, so they can kiss my ass.
Nice.
After 3 trips to Iraq, I'm done.
Oh, yeah, Tyler, it's the military, so he's telling Uncle Sam to kiss his ass.
Yeah. We don't taxes. I'm doing the same thing.
Oh my God.
Fuck a duck. Hey, Brian.
I'm here. What's going on?
You're here. Plug something, brother. Send people somewhere so it's worthwhile.
Come on over to Local Client Takeover. Be sure to like us, join the group. We've got about 1,000 people in there that engage on a daily basis on everything local. It's a total no BS situation. We don't spam with a bunch of affiliate links and all this stuff. We really just engage, and Mark and I are in there every single day answering questions, and the group itself is awesome. And it ranges from total newbies on up to people who've been doing it for years, and it's all local. So we kind of saw a little bit of a gap out there in terms of lots of people teaching big courses with a lot of affiliate, and then they would have a little piece of local, and a lot of affiliate, a little piece of local. And our whole business model for years has been pure local, so we figured, well, why not, let's get a group together and figure out how we can put out some good content and help people out and engage with people on a daily basis. So just hop in the group itself. It's I think it's maybe you can drop a link or something, but it's facebook.com/groups, I think, and then /local client takeover. And we'd love to have you over there.
Wow, that sounded sexy. And if you're in Vegas, you need to hook up with Brian and buy him drinks because he enjoys a nice, relaxing beverage.
On occasion, yeah.
Occasionally. Yeah, it's actually facebook.com/local client takeover, and I'm going to drop it in the, well, what the hell is that? The showcase. The showcase showdown. Lane, brother, what do you got for us?
Gotta take myself off mute. To plug anything, I don't have anything to plug right now, boss. I'm too busy in fulfillment.
Cool.
Yeah. No,
I mean, you got MadRank. I mean, MadRank, the free group. Go over there and get in there if you want to know how to sell shit.
Yeah, if you want to know how to close clients.
I mean, and as we've said numerous times, and last night too on the webinar was, you can build all the damn lead sites you want, but if nobody's paying for you, you're just going broke.
Yeah, hey, we're actually 4 members away in our Facebook group from giving away MadRank's 13 tactic prospecting system that we used in our business to get up to shoot. We're now closing 3 clients a week. I mean, paid and free methods. Fact matter is, if you care about local client consulting, join Local Client Takeover and get into MadRank to learn how to sell it.
And I would drop the link, but I just went to, and it won't let me because it's a closed group. Bastards!
And then use Jonathan's local citations to outsource that shit. So there you go.
Yeah.
And that's where, and I think, did I drop the PBN Butler in the thing? I don't think I did. I thought I did. I'm gonna pull that up. Jonathan, PBN Butler.
.com, that's the one.
And I'm gonna tell you, man, I like your cartoon, dude.
Thanks.
I'm into simple graphics.
Hey, Byron. Can I go on record in that all the SEO clients that we outsource to Bemisto, would you make sure that inside your quote to us it includes some PBN Butler packs?
Absolutely. Yep. I'm going to utilize them. Sounds good.
Yeah. PBN Butler is the official social signals provider to MadRank.
Nice. Hot shit.
I appreciate that.
You can all send us money now. We got you all together, man. This is. I'm saying that shit proud, man. I want to see some cash out of these deals. Tyler, I'm gonna get you too, man. What do you? I'm coming to LA. We're gonna sit down and have some good food.
You better have some bolt-on liver, man.
You guys are killing me with this drinking shit. Where were you 3 years ago when I would have put all of you under the table in the night? Now that I don't drink, everybody's like, "Oh, get your liver." Yeah, fuck that, you bastards. I got my pop.
I go to Las Vegas with Frank, and I'm like, all right, I'm not going to drink. Second night in, I'm like a bottle of Jack down. I'm like, can't resist.
We go, and we've got tickets to an open bar.
Oh.
All you can drink for free by one of the largest affiliate companies celebrating their 15th anniversary. And I'm like, dude, go, because I just know my wife will fucking stab me when we get back to the hotel room, so you just run off.
2 hours later, I'm partying with Jay-Z on the top of the stratosphere, so, just kidding on that.
Yeah, I was partying with Jay-Z, too. Sup, Beyonce? Don't shoot me. I'm not that gangster. And I mean, do we got anything else, man? It's been an hour and a half. I mean, this has been kick-ass.
Yeah, I think I'm good. We covered a lot. Unless anybody else has anything.
Don't be asking if anybody got questions. This ain't no. Press 1 if you had fun and learned something. I'll be putting up my pictures of my my Kia later when we sell our packages.
Hey guys, there was one thing that I just thought I'd quickly add right at the end, because it's something that was very close to my heart and that I think a lot of people have stress with, which is for a lot of the people, especially when they're starting out and they're trying to find local clients or any sort of client, if it's web design or SEO or whatever it is, a lot of people seem to have a massive problem with trying to work out how to get them. And I think there's just a massive complication in people's brains, and obviously now with MadRank being there, they can join their training system and figure all that out. But one thing that I don't know if it's just me, but I try to sell me everywhere. Like wherever I go. I was in a tattoo shop earlier today where one of my friends was getting a tattoo, and I got talking to the shopkeeper, and I was like, dude, are you guys like ranking for tattoos in this local area? And they were like, oh, we are just working on our website. We were thinking of like making a Facebook page. And I was like, let me just check the local searches. And yeah, it's very profitable. So I was like, do you want to buy some leads, dude? That's it. Wherever you go.
We went to a hockey game last year, and we were for Sharp Printers. And now this is Sharp, one of the largest printers in the world, and these guys are trying to bring in these companies and sell them printers, and these great big TVs that do all this interactive shit. And I'm talking with the guy, and I'm like, well, your office here, your local office, how's it doing? And he's like, oh, we get a ton of business. And I'm like, then why are you knocking on doors to get response from people? And he's like, well, it's a competitive niche, so we gotta work it where we can. And I said, really? I handed out 50 cards at this party that had nothing to do with me, telling everybody, get a hold of us. We can get your asses ranked. And you're right, Jonathan. You should always be working a deal if it's worth it. I mean, here in Phoenix, what's more profitable than tattoos is tattoo removal.
Yeah,
I have a
can
tattoo
imagine.
office on that side of the street and a doctor removing them on the other side of the street.
Well, and like we've talked about before, like the bartering type situation. I mean, I had when I lived in my other place, I had my lawn done. I had like I could go unlimited tanning if I wanted to. All this stuff that I got hooked up just because I would walk into a business and I'd use their services once and I'd be like, hey, why don't I get you more customers? And then they'd be like, okay, your services are free, and sign us on. And whether I pay, whether they paid me a few $100 over the top, or I just did a straightforward trade. I mean, you can do all kinds of stuff like that.
Do you see? I'm hanging out with a dude who goes tanning.
I don't actually, but
You're in Idaho. Who are you tanning for?
Myself. It makes me feel sexy.
Damn, brother. Come to Phoenix, walk outside for 10 minutes, and then come back in.
I'm in Idaho. It's like -20 all year long.
Holy shit. Can you post the links to the sites mentioned here? Stevie B, if you look, when you're looking, there's a showcase button. Well, for me, it's there. It might be over there for you. It looks like 3 yellow price tags. If you click it, it will open up. But everybody here, if they want, will have a link at the SEO show or Facebook.com/SEO show, or even on the SEOshow.com. But the links are also there automatically because I put them in. So with that, guys, anything else? Because I really got to piss.
I'm good.
Brian?
No, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Thanks, everyone, for coming on.
I appreciate it. Tyler, awesome meeting you. What do you want to push? You got something to sell?
Well, myself, as always. You can find me at tylerperez.com. If you even have questions, feel free to reach out to me. Connect me on social media. I got a page on there. You can find me on anywhere in the world. Reach out to me.
I feel bad, man. I didn't ask you that sooner. Now, it's Tyler Perez, not Hilton Perez, right?
Correct. People get that mixed up all the time.
Dude, don't. I hope they don't, because you're going to get a whole crazy-ass site. Isn't he on Big Brother Europe right now?
Oh, hell, I have no idea.
I think he is. I think Perez is on because I have a website for Chloe Goodman, and she was on there, and she does a bunch of naked photos. So she's.
I don't know what you're talking about. Who are all these guys?
Perez Hilton?
Yeah.
Hilton Perez, whatever his name is?
Yeah.
Oh, Google his ass. All right, guys, this is the SEO show. I'm Frank Schwartz. That's Byron Lee. We'll see you bitches next week. Later.
Thanks, guys.